Welcome back to the interview. I got one of my best friends, Inglewood native, LA native, father, fitness enthusiast, professional educator, Mr. Danny Crumble. Man, thanks for coming. I appreciate you spending time with me, man.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure, bro. Real talk. It's always a great pleasure to be able to spend the time.
So, how we do this? I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Feel free to ask, elaborate, and people are gonna be watching this live, man. I hope you're not too nervous.
Nah, actually, I was sitting here, I was like, man, I remember being extremely nervous anytime in front of the microphone or the cameras. And I'm like, shout out to experience, but I ain't as nervous as I thought I would be. So it's cool. I'm vibing, bro.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. If you don't mind starting off, letting people know who you already mentioned your name, but who you are, a little bit about yourself, so they can get a feel of who we talking to today.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Danny Crumble, like you already stated, man, grew up in Inglewood, California. I come from a loving family, I believe. Very, very strong views in certain areas, but that comes with environment and experience. My family is from the South Base, Louisiana. And then I recently found out my dad, his dad was from Milwaukee. So kind of on this track of finding out what those things are, what those mean to me, and how they play out in my life. Oldest kid, so that had like different variances on it, but in a nutshell, bro, I'm a person that's really blessed to be operating every day and understanding what it looks like and really finding that journey and purpose.
Right on. So, did you mention, as I mentioned, you are Inglewood, LA native.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a big difference from Inglewood and LA? For people who out there who don't know the difference or understand what that means, when you say we don't say from Inglewood, we don't say from LA, we say from Inglewood.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference is from being from Inglewood versus being from LA?
Me personally, I think the differentiating Inglewood and LA, if you're from LA, is important because Inglewood has its own vibe and its own structure. And and most people that are not from LA, they say LA and they just generalize LA County, but LA can be Northridge opposed to LA County Compton or Watts, and everybody has their different flavor. And so for me, I try to differentiate because Inglewood has its own vibe. As you can see, people are now what they would call gentrifying to Inglewood, but I think the sun shines differently in Inglewood. I think you're the city of champions, So with that environment and that type of culture, like the whole city is like based around winning, and it's a different swagger. We got our own movie, The Wood. That was like really a motion picture that depicted a city and like why I choose Inglewood. So I just think it's a special city, and the difference is it's just we carry it differently. Meaning like you have families that are had so many different intersectionalities where you have families that are well enough to afford a home, and then families that maneuver their way and get into a home. So you had Section 8, you had home ownership, you had gangbanger, you had cool. It's just this melting pot that ended up being what it is from this small suburb of a city. Inglewood's not even that big. So yeah, you got to represent and be specific. And that's why I feel about it, because my family really like Inglewood, like Morningside, Inglewood, both sides. So like I don't like the quarter sacks in the city. I just know the city. So for me, that's why it's like it's special. And then I met my best friends in the world. It just has a different meaning. So watch The Wood, and I get that same type of vibe and feel.
It's funny when I moved to Inglewood because of what the perception of Inglewood always up to no good. Dr. Dre had kind of put that in my mind, right?
Yeah,
um, I had a whole different perception of Inglewood until I got there and I met guys like you, Devontae, and obviously, our entire friend group, which totally, and now I'm super proud. I used to didn't want to put it on my actual job application,
yeah.
which is crazy. I don't want people to know, but now I'm proud of it. But
And hey, honestly, bro, you were one of the part of the people that redirected that persona or that perception. So I like you proud of it. I'm proud to represent it, and you wear it well, bro. So for sure.
appreciate you, man. A big question I like to ask people that's native of Los Angeles, because Inglewood's still LA County.
Mm-hmm.
What advantages do you think that you've been given because you are from such a place? I know at this point you're well traveled. You've been in a few places, different states, even out the country. What advantages do you think because you're from LA that you've gained?
Uh, I say it's a different type of exposure and opportunity that comes in LA. They talk about Hollywood. We from the city of champions. Um, this energy of hustle, and opportunity, and like what's the word I'm looking for? This persona people care, like Inglewood is bougie, so so the advantages are, for one, you are exposed to a whole genre of people that you can have access to. So this melting pot of like white people, Hispanics, or Asians, like most of LA County are like just different, and you can have that access. So I think you can adapt to or understand cultures more, and in that way you can expand your opportunities for business, or just you don't feel weird around people. And so I think that's one of the biggest advantages when you are from LA. And it's a city of sunshine, bro. It it really produces for myself like another type of energy. Like it just gives you a different swagger. Everybody, is from an area, from a city, represented well. But like if you grow up in sunshine all the time, you feel like it's always an opportunity, or you know how to maneuver. And I think gangbanger was a lot of the culture in LA. So for myself, it was like, how do I maneuver away from this when these guys were just friends, but they made a decision and a choice to do X thing, but I don't want to make that decision choice, but I still want to be cool and relevant to an area. And so you have to so the advantage was figuring out what that was. Through my experiences, through living in LA, I was able to develop a comfort that it's easier when I go to other places, because I'm like, damn, I maneuvered past gangbang, I maneuvered past all these obstacles, and I actually kind of leaned into the opportunity. And so now when I go to other places, like, oh, this is a little slower, or this is kind of easier, or this is, it just the energy of the city, and no disrespect to no other place, but it just gave that type of advantage.
Yeah, I agree. It's so fast here that everywhere else seems slow, even when it's not. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
actually not slow. It's probably regular speed.
right.
But LA is so damn fast that that's the only way we know how to live.
Right. Like an analogy, you get on the highway, people say like it's not a speed limit. So in LA, we drive, let's say average 85 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take that chance. You still can get pulled over because technically you ain't supposed to be driving that fast. Speed limit 70 miles per hour, but I got to get with it. So when you go somewhere else, it's like, oh, this cruise control. So I always think about it like that. Like it's the same, as our traffic, as our like what's represented in the city.
And on the opposite side of that question, wherever there's advantages, there's disadvantages.
100.
So, you being from LA, what major challenges or disadvantages do you feel like has been bestowed upon you because you're from LA?
I think you can you can get caught up in living in illusion. You can be in a space where like you think you're successful, or you thinking you doing one thing, or and you following the wrong path because somebody is having a perception. A lot of it is like not results based as I think it should be. Like you really know if somebody got that positioning um in peculiar ways. You know what I mean? Like, so I think the disadvantage was like it's so many areas to get caught up in, and either to go the wrong pathway or make the decision where like I'm gonna ride with this person, and you thinking that they are like on a path to success. You like, oh, I've been following this dude, been joking around, or like been playing it. So I just think it's like a bunch of landmines that if you are unattentive, and it's easy to get distracted in LA. It's so much to be going on. So I think the same opportunity that the city lends, you can fall by not being focused, or just not having the right direction, or just being in the wrong circumstance, and you can just you can lose your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what high opportunity is heavy implications, and you got to just be a great decision maker, or try to be the best way you can be.
Now, I ask this question often, and most people always bring up the aspect. And the landmines you're talking about, to be more specific, is really the challenges of whether it be gang life or just danger, or just, I get you could say what the crime representation
Right.
in Los Angeles. Why didn't you get involved? Or did you get involved at one point and decide it wasn't for you, or did you completely avoid it? How'd you navigate through that process of maybe trying to game bang or not game banging at all? Like, what do you think was I guess your catalyst for that?
Oh shit on the set. No, I'm just playing. I think my natural ability just to provide humor, um, and knowing like, damn, I like how can I seen certain so I didn't gangbang. So my family on my father's side, they gangbang. So I never looked at gangbanging as like um a huge detriment because it was so normal. You know, so for me, it would have been like joining another community. But the reason, and then shout out to my moms for always trying to keep me occupied. You know what I mean? And like keeping me busy. Real talk, like fought for me to be on my first football team because they thought I was too small. And I'll give him a tryout, you know, and I went out there and did what I did. But she tried to keep me as busy as possible. But you still have to make decisions. And so for me, when that age of like when I had friends that were like best childhood friends, and I seen them make the choice first, and I seen what it did to them. I was able to see an example of like, dang man, what I mean by did to them was like they had to grow up, you know, so fast and have to be a part of these rules or these set of rules and really have and you pay for it with your life sometimes, whether you make a decision to be down or not. And then so seeing those examples and seeing examples in front of me, I was like, nah, I just don't want to make that decision. And my whole family with Crips, I live with the blood. I just, you know what I'm saying? It was like, all right, do I, you know what I'm saying? Like the homies is bloods. Like it's like, you know what? I want to be a part of changing the narrative. I think I'll give this example. It was more so too that and then racially. I grew up with a lot of Hispanics on my street. They started to choose Inglewood Threadsay, uh, the Hispanic gangs, and we couldn't even be friends no more. So a lot of experiences like really it kind of messed me up and it hurt me too. So it's like, man, if this is a culture that's going to provide this type of feeling, and I know the repercussions behind this, and I ain't willing to do none of the said rules, you know, I'm cool. I think I can get the money and the girls and all that appealing stuff on my own. So I was like, I'm straight.
Yeah, shout out to the parents that kept their kids occupied. I think
Shout
that
out to
has,
moms.
yeah, I think that has a lot to do with avoiding those landmines in which you talked about. Um, moving so on into your professional career now that you are a fitness enthusiast, let's get into that. What kind of led you to say, "Hey, I'm gonna start taking my body serious"? What was it? Was it a certain situation? Was it just you just deciding that you wanted to get better? What was it that made you say, "Hey, I'm going to go into this realm of fitness"?
Yeah, it was a cumulative of things. So um for one, like starting to help people with fitness, that came from um like during the time we were in the pandemic and people like really like, dang, like I need something to do. And I was like, well, shit, let me help out, you know. And so that came from that. But personally, personal fitness or just I like to say wellness came from my own personal experiences. So per experience, growing up, I was exposed to certain foods or certain lifestyles. Like we'll have a whole 2 liter of soda and get mad if somebody drink a cup of your soda. Like, bro, you drinking a 2 liter soda.
Oh
You know
God,
what I'm saying? Then we
give
go
me
to
a
get
Fanta,
weeds, Jack in the
pineapple.
Box. I didn't know that there was repercussions behind what you consume because I was never educated in that manner. And so I started to experience different health complications at a young age where I'm like,
Mm.
this is true. Like, bro, for what changed for me, like the minute my family started to pass away and started to get these diseases and then going to the doctor when you're young, like, do your mama got this? Do your daddy got this? Do you this? Do you this? And then you don't even know. It's like, man, okay, let me get a hold on this. So the wake up call for me was I got gout. I will continuously talk about this. I was like 20 something and it was like gout in my foot. It was inflammation and I couldn't, I was supposed to hoop that day. I was supposed to do my thing that day with a little nice young lady. You feel me? I was supposed to be outside as they would say. And I was felt decapitated. And then getting the information for the first time through my lens and my ears from the doctor saying, what are you eating? What are you doing? And the look that he had on his face of disgust, it's like, shit, I didn't know none of this. And so he gave me a pamphlet. We actually tapped in and he was actually helping me get back to healing my body through food, which was, I was surprised, you know, all this thing about like Western medication, but he was really rooting for me to get myself. So I just started to take that journey of what I knew and you know go full throttle with it, and I realized like I felt better. I felt better, I looked better, my skin started to clear up, my feet didn't hurt, you know, from gout. Like I was using the regulating with the restroom differently, and so I'm like, well, if I can do this, change a little bit of something, we ain't got to put wrench on everything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh God.
we can cut back. So, and that took discipline too. So finding the system that worked for me and knowing I wasn't the most disciplined person, I'm like, if I can do it, I would want it to share it with other people. And so that's where the fitness and enthusiast and the energy comes from that. And I'm people use the word passionate, bro. This is life, this is these are tools you can hand, just even giving somebody information at a young age where they can make a choice. Like, I ain't, nah, I'm cool, you know. I don't have to eat this, or giving those options. So I'm on this way forever.
Yeah, I think that we can see in our generation too is a lot less cancer patients, given our generation because we're just aware. A lot more gyms. Obviously, veganism has definitely made its way into our generation for sure,
Yeah.
and that has changed the way we all consume. Um,
Real quick though,
yeah.
I still smash the chicken, bro. I just want to put that out there. I let the chicken have it. I just don't have to do it every day. You know,
And you got to fry it all the
I
time.
ain't got a
Sometimes,
fry on, so we
yeah.
can bake it. You know what I'm saying? We can fillet. We however you want to do it. But yeah,
So now, how long has it been since that situation with Gal?
um, 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 years. And when you became who you are now, which is a fitness instructor
Right.
and a personal trainer, how long have you been doing that?
2 good years, bro.
Okay, so
Yeah.
talk to me about what that process has been like. You now doing it for yourself and now doing it for other people.
For me, it's cool because I always wanted to coach, and I'm still going to coach. And I think that's a component too when people talk about like most people have their own approach with anything, and I've noticed because I tapped into like a few personal trainers who've been doing it for a long time, and I just like their energy and stuff like that, and I just wanted to pick their brain. And everybody has different components, and so for me, it was like if I have the opportunity to get this information, to act upon it and see the results, and then go study some stuff that will back this up, and it became fun, like learning how to. During the pandemic, I wanted to be a student again. It wasn't really nothing to do, but NASPA was like, "Hey, come be a fitness, come learn about the anatomy of a body." And so that was very intriguing to me. And so the coaching part comes, the fitness coaching is like a lot of women are comfortable with just, I really go in there to do a job, bro. Like I really go in there to do a job. And when they get the results, or just people in general that I work with, because majority of women, to see how they kind of snatching their life back. Like one of a members of the Giants then, Donovan, his wife, sorry, he was like, man, can you work with my wife? Like, I seem like you got the skills and the tools. And so she had lost like 35 pounds, and I seen them get happier. That was like the coolest stuff. Then we all became friends, and then it's just cool. So like those type of results, I don't know, like the coaching and the results, like you just do something for me. So that like, and I can help you do something that you can have a skill set for the rest of your life. Like when you can tap into it, why not?
Why do you think that is? That it's majority of women? Because I agree with you. Like, I don't. Is it an ego thing for men, or like what is it? Why men? Men do, but it's not as common as it is. Why do you think more women are? I guess subject to getting a personal trainer versus men, or I don't know. You tell me. You're experiencing it, so I'm just
Mhm.
curious as to why it's such a difference in men and women trying to get that type of coaching.
I think you said it too. Like it's some ego involved. It's like, I don't need this nigga to show me nothing. you know, but I think you break down to the nitty gritty, it's just more women are willing to take a shot when they fed up. A guy will wait to the absolute last minute until he got to make a decision. And then it's like
Mm-hmm.
women are more prioritizing certain things. They'll do budgets, and then they'll find a way to make it work. If it don't align perfectly with some men, they just like, nah. Because I've worked with a trainer. Shout out to Big John. He got me to a level I've never thought I would get to. And so I did have to relinquish like ego and stuff like that. But I was willing to do that because I seen he knew exactly what he was doing. And it was like I always willing to learn and position myself. But I find that it's preparation for women, and then they take the action and be like, know what, I want to snatch my life back, or I want to develop skills and just I can be consistent. It's and I think too, just keep it 100, like guys will have it, but they ain't like, I ain't finna keep paying this dude. Like,
Right.
I ain't want to pay you. Like, I'm about to learn what it is. I want to apply it myself. And so, yeah, that's just my personal experience of how those things have been going. But I've worked with a couple guys. We worked out, man, and it was dope. It was fire. Like we trained a little bit for the marathon, so that was fire.
Yeah, and congratulations on that again, completing a marathon. That is something that less than 1% of the world actually ever does.
That's
So
crazy.
that is a huge feat. And moving along, I want to talk to you about fatherhood because you are a father,
Yes, sir.
and I would like to know if you don't mind sharing what your relationship was like with your father and how that's affected you as you raising your children. How does that impact the way that you raise your kids now?
Um, I would say I had to like. So my father, he pretty much was in prison. So when we did tap in, it was like certain, like as I got older, like there was a certain traumatic experiences that, well, people would say traumatic. I would say too, it would like you could tap in and be like, oh, this is a little trauma. And what I say about that, I'll give you an example. So I'm in the back of my granny house playing basketball, shooting, and my dad goes running by like real fast, hop the gate. I'm like maybe 8 or 9. Hop the gate. And I'm like, man, what the hell? Like, what are you? I'm still trying to get the jump shot right. And then the police officer come running like maybe like 3 minutes later, like chasing him. But one, I was like, that my dad fast as shit. I'm about to be fast. He was go. But also when I got old enough, I'm like, man, this is like the way that settled. And so it was different pockets like that. But the times that so growing up in prison, and so we'll go visit him too. And then I didn't like going a lot because they treated me kind of like you might be here in a couple years. Like even trying to get in there, you got to be searched and all this. They like, bro, I'm not in here, bro. Like I'm gonna leave. Like, but it was just certain things. So I say our relationship growing up was that, but I still never was like extremely like angry or nothing like that. I would try to filter and like find the joy in life, just a personal choice. So when I got old enough and he was, out of prison, he been out for a while now, man. Shout out to my dad for like trying to hold it down and just being the man that he is. I try to develop a relationship and we got way better than what it was because at first it wasn't a relationship, so I'll tap in like, man, we got opportunity to tap in, more. I still see like he's growing, his own self, shout out to my dad. So it was never like no hard feelings. It just as I became a man, I'm like, damn, this shit ain't easy. Like, if I was presented with money to opportunity to make money in the 90s, however, well, I may have took that opportunity too. And these are the circumstances. Like I said earlier, it's choices and decisions that we make, and so his absence, I think, helped me realize like these are the things, you know, that I want to implement. These are the things that like when I had to deal with my first bully and I couldn't go to nobody and I had to just close my eyes and just take off, whatever the results was. But even having the courage to be like, damn, this nigga came and asked me for some money. Are you kidding me? And so like those things, those intangibles are like affectionate, being affectionate. So I think what changed for me is like now I can realize and tap back into myself like, dang, like I remember being at this point and maybe it may not be the best answer, but I'm like, I know this ain't the one, so trying to being present as possible, but also listening to a young human, that's developing and doing their thing and trying to study like parental books or like pull from different people. So I say my relationship just made me hungry to understand what this fatherhood thing even is. You know what I mean? Like, cause you learning on the job, and you hopefully you get better as the time go by. As you blessed enough to have the time, and so I'll just say, I from that experience, I try to make the best times with the opportunities that I have, and try to make the best out of the situations, and try to grow and provide things, and like healing myself for being broke. You know what I'm saying? Like it's even growing up, like that was a lot of pressure, being the oldest and we didn't really have no bread like that and sacrificing. It's like, damn, I want to give, my kids and future kids a shot to live being a kid. You know what I'm saying? So, I think those things is definitely changed. And it's like it's no not bashing my parents at all, but this is my lived experiences. And so like having that my dad being absent, it just kind of just made me like I want to be present. as much as possible and provide what I can. And that can be knowledge, that can be finances, that can be whatever it is. But um, you know, yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think that saying once again, we are '80s babies, as Kendrick Lamar said, we are
ooh,
crack babies.
crack
But
babies,
that means you was affected by the crack epidemic some
absolutely,
kind of way. As well as my family and almost every black person in LA I talk to, their whole entire family was their father, uncle, somebody,
yeah.
Um, but
I'm sorry, bro. The government had that was a plan, boy. That they executed that one.
well done. That's all you can say is well done.
Woo!
Like
Y'all
you said, it's
got
well
woo,
done.
y'all
Well done. And
well
we're cleaning it up
done.
now. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that you're doing a great job of representing a black man. So
Appreciate it.
um moving a little bit forward along, it's a question I like to ask. One of the last two questions I like to ask, if because now you are a year, we're at the end of 2022 right
Yeah.
now. This is literally we're in the last
Last
days,
days of 22.
and it, just a year ago, right? Think about yourself a year ago.
Yeah.
If you were to sit, if yourself a year ago, just 1 year, not 10 years, just literally 12 months ago, last December, they'll sit next to you on that couch.
Wow.
What would you tell yourself, your past year ago self? Just 1 year.
Um, hey, bro, I'm actually proud of you. Um, because over life we accumulate different experiences and we get these tools and we get these skills, and oftentimes we don't apply them as we should. So kudos to you for applying these things to the plan and actually being disciplined enough to stick to it and seeing a lot of things through. Everything that you wrote down in 2022, um, you looked up. I mean, 2021 for 2022, you looked up and you surpassed those things, and you're not satisfied. You're even more hungry. You even more focused, and it's so personal. It can get emotional. So take that energy and really understand the blessing that it is to be able to be woken up every day for another shot of opportunity, because it truly is a purpose, and you are on that path, bro. So keep that shit going. Um, and you in better shape than you was too.
It's looking better every day. Varsity now. Uh, but Nice. I like to ask that question because this is a moment of reflection just for the year. Sometimes we look back over our whole life and we missed just the last few months
Yeah,
essentially. And you are now you're in grad school now. Congratulations to you, my
thank you,
brother. You
thank you,
finished your
thank
first
you.
semester.
Yes.
And as being a former grad student myself, it is tough.
Ooh, wait.
Yeah, it is tough. So
Yeah,
kudos to you.
thank
And just wanted to bring that up so people know what's up.
you. No,
um,
real talk.
but my last question for you is, if you had an opportunity, well, you do have an opportunity, but if this was your last day, and obviously it's not, I don't think it will be, but if it was, I feel like we don't have the opportunity to kind of share our thoughts with somebody, so
Yeah.
a moment of reflection. If this was your last day on earth, your last day living, what would you want to tell your friends and family? And we'll pick it apart. We'll start with uh let's start with just your family. Let's start with just your son. What would you want to tell him?
Man, listen, bro. Um, change the game, for me, my life. Um, Outside of being your dad, bro, you're a special gifted kid, intelligent, athletic, handsome, all of those different things. And just know that the decisions that I make have strong implications with involvement of you and thinking about you, and I love you dearly. That's why I'm so affectionate with you. Um, Always be able to tap into the strength that you have, man. We talk about this all the time. I remember him coming changing schools, and I remember you saying you coming changing schools, like, man, I'm faced with a bully, and we was able to have a conversation, and you cried, I got emotional, and you overcame that, and knowing that that same power is in you, you're able to tap in it no matter what. I'm gonna be here as long as I can to guide you and to love you and to do all the things that I need to do. um I'm an open book. Just know that our souls are forever connected, for real.
All right, and we move along to siblings. Well, if this was your last day, what would you want to tell them so that they know?
To keep it a buck, I love y'all. So several siblings. So my dad has uh other children as well. So in my household, my mom and for my mom and my dad, my younger sister Daylin, and my brother DeAndre, and then my cousin Dede. He's a brother. So my brother Dede, they shine. I love y'all dearly, tremendously. Shit. I sacrificed a lot of my life. So y'all trying to figure out how to be a man as a teenager, so it can be easier for us. So the love is unconditional. It's prevalent for all the discrepancies that we've had. That comes with life. But I'm glad we was able to make amends truly, and just know that I love y'all. I never stop loving y'all, and I never will. Um, y'all got the ability and power and strength to do whatever y'all want to do. And sometimes, what I notice in our family, we got to get out our own way. So let's continue to get out our own way and change the regime, of our family's legacy and what that looks like. And what y'all doing right now is absolutely great. Strong strides, overcoming a lot, fighting through. Y'all powerful, and I mean that. And I love y'all like greatly, you know. And my other siblings as well. Miracle. About honestly, I ain't even try. I can name a lot of kids, but all y'all, man, like even the ones that I'm just meeting, like what's up? Like I love for y'all. Like we're 100%. And so, um, just know that comes from a genuine place. Whatever y'all need, for sure.
And then we want to talk to parents, moms and pops. What would you want to share with them? And
Man,
we don't have to be. We can start with moms.
yeah, moms, man. Hey, moms, I understand that you got pregnant at 16 and had a brother at 17. I was the first one. I look just like you. So shout out to you and your looks. Cause my dad, he all right, you know what I'm saying? But, but I say that to say it like that because you always look forward to me providing you a laugh. And I've always enjoyed that growing up. And that's something that we have and we share. Um, you sacrificed a lot all while doing your thing. And I respect that. We are so much of the same and different at the same time. But if it wasn't for your foundation and you laying it down, like and bringing me into this earth, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I love you and I honor you for that. And just know that you were very instrumental in helping raise a man. I remember for a long time. I'm like, damn, what is manhood? What does that look like? What is this? Like you had assistance in raising a man. 'Cause I do believe a man can only raise a man, but you held it fuck down. Only I had to say how you will receive it, and I love you dearly. Um, for forever, ever, ever in a day.
Anything you want to say to pops?
Indeed, pops, man, I love you. Um, I think me being a dad myself now, and a man and having years of experience to understand what that could have looked like. I've never held any malice towards you, man. Um, I really didn't. I've always loved you, and because I from a young age I appreciated, like I wouldn't be here without y'all, and I can hang my hat on that and really stand on that. Of course, you have your times where you frustrated and you this and that, but I've always, because I had to grow up fast, I learned how to do that without being bitter about it. So I wasn't. The message is to you, like I love you, bro. Like um I wasn't bitter at you, drop whatever. If you even have guilt, just know with your oldest son, you don't have to carry that. Relinquish that shit, man. And really lean into the love and the appreciation that even though all the life experiences you've been through, you still here, you still walking and kicking. So there's always an opportunity to heal, grow, and get better while we here. So at the end of the day, I love you. And just know that like you ain't got to carry around no baggage, no bullshit. Just know that you look at me, and if you think you proud of me, you represent, I'm a strong representation of what you know um a man in life should be. Just know that you had a hand in that as well. On crib.
And last but certainly not least, you don't have to get specific in name because this get tricky, but your friends, man, the ones, they know who they are. So I always say to people, you don't got to say names because
Yeah.
it can be a laundry list of those. But the ones you talking to gonna know who you talking to. So
Yeah.
the your close friends, man, what would you want to tell them?
I'm gonna name a few names. And if I don't name any names, just
Hmm.
know that it's all
Right on.
love, man. It's love. Y'all know I give it up. First of all, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm in your studio right now. It look flawless, but even before that, um, Keith McElhannon. Um, I love you, bro. And I mean, we could take a step all the way back in in a space of like high school, where from a young age, I mean, I'm older than you and Devontae, excuse me, but I was able to like to peep. I'm like significantly older, but just had like a maybe a year and a half experience, 2 years experience in life, but more so like your swagger, your demeanor, bro. You was always consistent. Like I've always had a admiration for y'all, and it was an energy and the spirit, and it just only got stronger with opportunity. And what I mean by that is like the proximity, because I'm living life how I live life. Y'all live life, y'all live, but the willingness to stay connected, bro. When you went up to Northridge, it was like, man, I just come on, bro. Like this was college like that was a spark for me. I ain't think I'd been on a college campus like that prior to that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey man, I like the way you're doing it, and I'm very proud of the man you are, like the father you are, bro. Um, we shared like laughs, bro, like just swagger, everything, and I'm truly appreciative, to have this friendship, and no matter what, I feel like you always try to make me a part and instrumental in things. If there's an opportunity to collaborate or like help me grow or like motivate me. I remember my first time doing stand up. You like, bro, man, what you doing, bro? You gonna do it? I appreciated that so much. Like those pushes, based off your experiences that you were willing to share, and those tools with me, because that was the easiest thing for me. But it may have been like easier for you, but your encouragement and the way you give it up, bro, I appreciate that, man. I love you to death, bro. Mr. Devontae Green, man, became a brother already, but nigga, like circumstances brought a new introduction to opportunity for a brotherhood. You know, I think the spirit at that time took like confusion and pain and all these different things and starting to like to conspire. Like these are the circumstances, but like let me give you a breath of fresh air. Let me let y'all reset and relinquish it. A lot of times you don't get that in life. And to have someone that like to can be a thought partner, when egos are have risen, to be able to talk through situations, to have somebody have your back, like both of y'all, bro, like to have your back, man, like and willing to go through sacrificial things, but also being able to gain brothers and a brother, bro. I love you to death, man. Um, I want both of y'all to know that, like, I hold the lump in because I don't want to get emotional right now, but I don't mind doing that as well. I just want y'all to know, like, I am such an appreciation to this brotherhood and this friendship and what derives from that. That I look forward to continuing to building in a sense of looking back. Think about the wood. You know what I'm saying? Like they really went from boys to men and they had their respective lives. And I don't take that lightly at all. And to my folks that I don't name, like, well, shout out, first of all, shout out to Zakia, my partner, my girl, my lady, but my friend. You show me so much in a different access and accessibility, and you show me how to be kind in my approach. And that's one of the components that I appreciate you so much. Like you are very such a kind, sweet person, but you don't take no bull either. And you help and motivate me to be a better person. And man, I appreciate that. I love you, girl. I love you, girl. You know me, girl. I'm a castmate. All right, but back to it. Real talk. Friends, like all around. If I've ever came in and like in encounter with you, just know I had a genuine love for you and with you. I could say everybody's connected to us. Kev, Lucky, said, Flip, uh, Rock, everybody. Like I got friends I've met in my adult years. It's nothing but love. But when I say I can have brothers, you know what I'm saying, that didn't come out my family lineages, that's a blessing. So doubling down, man. I love y'all because you said this might if this was the last one, man, I know it ain't gonna be it. But I just wanted to provide that energy because we can look back on this as capsules one day and be like, nah, that's dope.
And that's the whole point of of asking that question, because it is something now that's gonna live forever at this point.
Mm.
And that's why I want to ask you, man. I will say, man, I appreciate you being vulnerable, sharing some of your story. And yeah, man, if there's anything else you want to say before we get out of here.
Absolutely. We talked about being at the end of this year, 2022. The world went through a shift in the pandemic, COVID-19, however you want to write it up, but that was a opportunity to change your lens and your perspective. Just for everybody that's listening or that will hear this, um, appreciate life, in its totality, but also understand really have the opportunity to shift and change whatever it is you want to do. And I know that sounds cliche and over, but like as living proof of a person that wasn't bestowing discipline or bestowing the things or like following through on the thing. That's why I came up with not came up with the more like hung my hat on the mantra of following through, because that was something I was lacking tremendously. You have the ability to do that. So really, beyond the resolution and all that, really know what it is that you want to do, the impact that you want to make, who you are to people around you. Lean into that heavily, like, and don't play with it. And and go ahead and I was gonna say take off. Rest in peace.
Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate you again, man. Thanks for your time, ladies and gentlemen. This is Danny Crumble, father, fitness enthusiast, and a higher educator. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.